This is US President Joe Biden's first visit to India as the head of the state and comes at the backdrop of Prime Minister Modi's visit to America in June. Both the countries have been deepening their ties over the last decade. So what are the expectations from the bilateral meet? And what are America's expectations from the G20 forum? Find out in our next report. In a major sigh of relief, the US President Joe Biden tested negative for COVID just days before the summit. There were apprehensions that he may become the third major leader to skip the summit after wife and First Lady Jill Biden tested positive for COVID. Biden arrives in New Delhi on Friday and will hold a bilateral with Prime Minister Narendra Modi just ahead of the summit.
Turn it over to the Prime Minister to say nice things about me.
Reports suggest the two sides could discuss the sale of small-end reactors, jet engines, easing visa rules, and the war in Ukraine. At the G20 Multilateral Forum, America's agenda will be capacity building for multilateral banks, including the World Bank, global challenges of energy and food security, and supply chain resilience. The US, along with other Western nations, want to keep the focus on Russia and its ongoing war in Ukraine, pushing for its inclusion in the joint communique. Biden's visit to the G20 comes as elections are slated to be held early next year, and his latest approval ratings paint a grim picture at 40.5%, while his Republican challenger for the White House, Donald Trump, is leading the polls in the GOP race, despite Trump facing 91 criminal charges across 4 cases. As of now, things don't look too well for Biden. Questions are being asked about his age. He will turn 81 this November. Amidst this, the G20 summit comes as an opportunity for Biden to show America's leadership at the world stage.
Our main focus is heading into the G20, delivering on an agenda of fundamentally reshaping and scaling up the multilateral development banks, especially the World Bank and the IMF.
I am disappointed, but I'm going to get to see it.
Just a few days ago, the US President Joe Biden expressed his disappointment over the Chinese President Xi Jinping's absence from the summit. US and China have had tense relations over the year, issues running from Taiwan to China's aggression in the South China Sea, trade wars, and its debt diplomacy in the emerging world. The White House in August asked Congress for a $3.3 billion additional fund to materially expand development and infrastructure financing through the World Bank to offer countries a credible alternative to China's coercive and unsustainable lending.
During this visit by the U.S. president, which is Biden's first since taking office, he will have a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Topic of discussions will be nuclear and defense partnership, as well as a special tailored program for Indian students, along with regional issues important to both sides. Susan Tarfani reporting from New York for WION World is One.